Today we're at Arizona's Lake Havasu, an impoundment on the Colorado River. And from the early reports during practice, the fishing is going to be very, very tough on this desert lake. It's a full moon and the bass are moving from their fall to the winter pattern. But you can bet these anglers will find the bass, and we'll be out there with them when the Bassmasters return. I'm Ray Scott. Stay on board. The Bassmasters will be right back.
Cradling dense layers of high-strength fiberglass, this mold sits motionless for what can seem an eternity, slowly nurturing the form inside. Here, there are no shortcuts, for this mold is the birthplace of a Ranger boat, and the extra time each boat spends in here makes all the difference in the performance of the boat out there. Ranger boats, we still build them one at a time.
From Denver, North Carolina, Hank Parker.
Polaroid and the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society present Catch, Photograph, and Release.
Hold them up nice and slow, Hank Parker.
Bring in your catch of the day and leave the fish behind. Practice CPR, Catch, Photograph, and Release with the Polaroid Bass camera. Available at your local tackle retailer or call 1-800-933-FISH.
You know, my idea of the perfect bait casting reel is one that casts with no effort at all. Line peels off the spool like it's in perpetual motion. Now, I've never fished with a reel quite like that, but this new Ambassador XLT comes mighty close. In fact, I believe I can cast farther with this reel than any I've ever fished with before. Just imagine what this would do on a fishing rod.
When water's this clear, your fishing line better be thin, clear, and strong. MagnaThin, the new power line from DuPont, is crystal clear. So thin, it's the next thing to being invisible. MagnaThin is the choice when fishing clear waters. Thin for long, smooth casts. Strong to help you catch more fish. MagnaThin from DuPont, your clear choice for clear waters.
Lake Havasu, Arizona, the site of the $175,000 Bassmaster Arizona Invitational. This 45-mile-long impoundment formed by Parker Dam on the Colorado River is located 160 miles south of Las Vegas, Nevada, and 250 miles east of Los Angeles. The area encircling this impoundment is a blend of desert, hills, and mountains, and the community which sits on the lake's eastern shore is unique. Not only is Lake Havasu City by most standards one of America's youngest communities, this 25-year-old city can boast of something no other settlement in America can. It's the home of the renowned London Bridge. This historic structure was sold to the McCulloch Corporation in 1968 for $2.4 million. The bridge was dismantled and 33,000 tons of granite shipped to the United States. 10,000 tons of the shipment were numbered facing stones. The bridge reconstruction took 40 men a year and a half to complete. The total cost of relocating this unique tourist attraction to Lake Havasu was $7.5 million. By any fishing standard, Havasu is tough, double tough, as Arizona B.A.S.S pro angler Greg Hines knows. And this is literally his home lake.
Well, Havasu at one time used to be the premier lake on the whole Colorado River chain for numbers of fish. I remember when I was growing up here, we lived actually right on the lake down at the lower end, and it was nothing to go out in the evening. We used old supersonics, and we used some of these old cream worms with the 3 hooks in it and a little spinner in front of it, and we could catch 40 or 50 bass in the evening real easily. And there's just a tremendous amount of fish here, but if anything, Havasu's succumbed to the fishing pressure, the overpopulation of the stripers, and right now it has came back some, but it's really, you know, the population is down in numbers of fish from what it used to be. But I think there is hope for Havasu. I can see a lot of structural programs, a lot of the new vegetation growth in the lake that will make it better in the future years, I think. But this is going to be a tough tournament. The guy that wins this tournament is definitely going to earn it. Havasu, you don't get a lot of bites, so you got to capitalize on every single bite. I mean, you can't miss a fish, you can't break one off. You got to put every bite in the boat, and that's going to be the winner of Havasu.
Under ordinary conditions, these Bassmasters arrive at a tournament site and practice for 3 days, locating and catching bass. But a different strategy prevailed in this tournament's practice period. Most of the pros didn't catch fish on purpose.
Well, in a lake like Havasu, it's not a strategy, it's a necessity. I hopefully won't catch a single fish all the pre-fish, and I've already caught a few, but I'll try to pull it away from them and just slide in there real easy on the trolling motor and see what size of fish it is. A lot of the times they'll stay in the general area where you can spot them down there. Because if you catch them, they're going to be very, very tough to catch in the tournament.
Day 1 of the Arizona Invitational starts early, and 87 of these Bassmasters, roughly 1/3 of the field, could have stayed in bed this morning, because that's how many won't catch a keeper 13-inch bass today. Besides being regarded as a tough lake, there are other factors hindering the catching. A full moon, the lake is turned over, and the water temperature has fallen over 10 degrees in the past 10 days. The fish are in transition, not yet to their winter pattern, but no longer in the fall pattern. It's confusing to both the fish and the fishermen. This first day, the weigh-in lines are uncrowded, but some anglers catch bass. Louisiana's Robert Bird shares his secret.
6,327 casts from one fish. 5, you lost. Strike.
Some others do better, like Arizona's Ted Miller.
I want you to look here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bass. Third time he's fished with us, this could put him clear in the lead. Do it to the scale. Our new leader, 10 pounds, 15 ounces. Let's give a nice hand. Super catch. Congratulations to you. Where is let me visit with you just a second here for our group. This group of fish is the largest we've had. That's 5 bass. Have you fished this water regularly?
Yeah, several years.
How many years have you fished the lake?
About 4.
And regularly, I'm sure.
Just when I have to.
The Bassmasters will be right back from the Arizona Invitational. Don't go away.
The last reported sighting was in this area.
Oh, there it is now! Look at it! Oh, how wonderful and rare! An actual weedless trolling motor! Stay with her. That's it. Yes! Oh, to know they do exist, they do! Oh, she's gone now. Oh, but how wonderful and rare!
The Ninja Prop, only on Motor Guide.
When it comes to fishing, everything's got to be just right, from what goes on the end of my line to what goes in the bottom of my boat. For me, that's Delco Voyager batteries with built-in charge indicators. Deep cycling and high cranking the whole time I'm out.
Delco Voyager batteries. Deep cycling, high cranking.
No other batteries get on board my boat. For the AC Delco retailer nearest you, just give me a call at 1-800-AC-DELCO.
Hummingbird, we got the spirit. Hummingbird, humming with energy. The teamwork puts it all together, making hummingbird quality. Hummingbird, brilliant technology. Hummingbird, making history. Tough, rugged, dependable, reliable, better than it has to be. Absolutely brilliant. Hummingbird.
Hi, I'm Kurt Gowdy, and if you love fishing as much as I do, then the new Bass Pro Shop Spring Fever Sale Catalog is a must. It puts you right in the middle of the largest selection of name brand fishing and sporting goods at the lowest prices anywhere. What's new? What's hot? It's all here. Just call 1-800-BASS-PRO and get your money-saving copy absolutely free. And you don't even have to get out of your easy chair.
Day 2. Even though many anglers in the Bassmaster Arizona Invitational blanked yesterday, and others tallied only small weights, an angler at the bottom of the list could make big strides with a couple of good fish, because 10th place this morning is just a fraction over 6 pounds. And the leader, Ted Miller, is having his problems. This former copper mining engineer is considered an expert on Lake Havasu and knows how to read it.
Well, I was real lucky this morning. Caught some fish early, and I just had some bad luck this afternoon, so I guess I'm even. But I don't expect to catch much tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'm going to fish for as hard as I can and just try and make a few bites I get count.
How about it, kiddo? 2 keepers.
Full-time B.A.S.S tournament trail pros spend many weeks on the road, away from family, friends, and their church. Years ago, some of the anglers started getting together during the Bassmaster tournaments for an evening of fellowship. Those meetings, conducted for the most part by pro angler Jimmy Hibdon, grew into an organization that is now nationwide. Focus, the Fellowship of Christian Anglers. Now the regular midweek tournament meetings are conducted by Terry Chuck, who also fishes in B.A.S.S competitions.
One purpose for these meetings is that what we're trying to do is give the fishermen an opportunity to have a time to fellowship together as a group of Christians, because as touring professional fishermen, most of the fellows do not have an opportunity to be in their church on a regular basis. Consequently, many of our fishermen are Christians, very strong Christians, and they have a need and a hungering in their heart to fellowship together with other Christians, to have a time set aside to honor and worship the Lord. And so our purpose in these meetings is simply to do just that, to provide a ministry for these fishermen, and being one of them, then I think that's one thing that has literally been so effective in this ministry.
The focus meetings are informal, and anyone who wants to contribute to the fellowship is welcomed, like Texas pro David Gregg.
Jesus, 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 there's just something about that name. He's my master and my Savior.
Early on, these fellowship meetings attracted 8 or 10 persons. But now it's not uncommon for 50 or more to attend. And the faces and names are familiar. Ray Scott, Jack Hines, Randy Dearman, Guy Aker, Charlie Ingram, Jimmy Hibdon, John Hale, Bo Dowden, and Lindell Martin.
You know, with being on the road, I miss a lot of time in my local church and worshiping the Lord, and these meetings have become important to me because it's become a big part of our worship time. I know a lot of us have, we're in a competitive type sport, and we sometimes get away from where we need to be. And another point, these meetings have brought us all closer together, and we've not only come closer as friends, but as brothers and sisters of the Lord. And one of the most important things, I guess you could say, is I've seen a lot of men come to know the Lord in the past couple of years, and that's really been one of the most important things for me right there.
The focus meetings have become a way of life for many of these Bassmaster Tournament Trail anglers.
Lord, help me, Jesus, I've wasted it. So help me, Jesus, I know what I am.
This second-day weigh-in proves slower than yesterday, but some anglers strike gold, like Missouri's Dion Hibdon, who's making his charge from 29th place.
4 beautiful bass, and I want you to watch it. This is the biggest catch of the day. Anyway, 10 pounds, 12 ounces. Let's give a nice hand, people. That is a bunch of fine bass. Pull up the 2 bigger ones and show them to the people out here. This clearly puts you in the lead, Dion Hibdon. Let me get the other. These are just 3 of them, folks.
Now, yesterday's leader, Ted Miller, comes to the scales.
Now, Ted Miller, our leader, with 10 pounds and 15 ounces yesterday. Ted Miller came in yesterday and knocked us all over. He has a beautiful bunch of fish today. If you got 4 beautiful bass, let's weigh them right now and don't hesitate. Ted Miller's weight today to go with his 10 pounds of yesterday, 8 pounds and 8 ounces. Let's give him a nice hand. This Arizonian has got one more fine bunch of fish. If you would please hold up and present to the people over here this biggest fish. He may have the leading bass of the day, folks.
The Bassmasters will be right back from Lake Havasu City, Arizona's home of the historic London Bridge. Don't go away.
They say this is where the big ones come for breakfast. They say this here spinner will have them jumping in the boat. Well, they convinced me. Now all they gotta do is convince the fish.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything else were as dependable as your Johnson outboard?
You know, it really didn't surprise me when the New York Times reported that President George Bush claimed that his favorite magazine of all was Bassmaster magazine. You know, for over 22 years, Bassmaster magazine has been helping improve the fishing skills of everyone from great presidents to great weekend anglers. I'm Ray Scott, and whether you're a beginner or a seasoned angler, to catch more bass, you need to join the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. Your exclusive member benefits include 10 big issues of Bassmaster magazine, a handsome membership packet, and much, much more. Plus, if you join now, you'll get absolutely free this terrific tackle pack worth $9.95. So call toll-free. Here's how.
Call 1-800-543-1300 to join Bass. In addition to 10 big issues of Bassmaster and full membership credentials, you'll get a free tackle pack, including augertail worms, Berkeley trilene line, Man's Baby 1- lure, and the free book, Bass and Magic. That's 1-800-543-1300.
Ted Miller's favorite deepwater producer the past 2 days has been a Bobby Garland jig, a lure that once was the most popular of its type in the West.
I rig it on a football jig head made by Lyle Grant, and what this is, it concentrates the weight in the front and puts it below the gap of the hook, so it's a good penetrating jig head. To rig this bait together, this is a spider skirt. Simply slide it on here, push it all the way up against the head. This jig head neck here has a couple tiny little barbs that help hold this up. And take this double tail, it's called, slide that on, push it up tight against the skirt. You want this whole thing straight, and there's a bait. It's a crawdad imitation. I think it's a reaction bait. It thumps on the bottom. It's a fast-moving bait. You can cover a lot of water. We've got a lot of deep water very fast with this bait.
Day 3, and the closing chance for these Bassmasters to either hold on to their position or try to move up in the Arizona Invitational standings. And just as he has the past 2 mornings, Ted Miller starts off fishing docks in this marina. But the first bite doesn't pay off.
Good. Can't believe it.
But the catching improves.
Hey, one in a boat.
Ted Miller is fishing 2 patterns during this tournament: deep water close to the dam and shallower water in a marina. For the shallower pattern, he flips a 3/8 ounce Klein Rattler jig tipped with a brown number 11 Uncle Josh pork frog. The deeper water pattern is fished with a 3/4 ounce Bobby Garland spider jig tipped with a plastic trailer. And upriver, Arkansas's Ron Sheffield in 5th place finds one.
There we go.
Thank you, Lord, finally.
And how did he catch it?
He was there's a little rock outcrop sticks out right here. And the fish, I just made that little short cast in on the right-hand side, down current side of that little rock ledge that sticks out just on the back side where the current's kind of starting to form an eddy, and the fish was laying right at the head of the eddy and took the lure on the way down. I never had a chance to move the bait before the fish hit it. These fish that are laying out in this, close to this current, are real aggressive fish. I think if they see the bait, they'll bite it. But there's so many little breaks and eddies formed that it's hard to fish all of them.
Meanwhile, down lake, Ted Miller is fishing a deepwater cove with his favorite spider jig.
We do a lot of finesse bait fishing out here in the clear water in the west, and I don't know if this is what you call finesse or not, but to me it's more like a reaction strike, maybe akin to a spoon a little bit. This thing's just raising havoc down there, and it's moving pretty quickly. I don't know, there's just times when the fish are very aggressive toward it.
And the leader scores in deep water on the spider jig.
Come on, baby, come on. Barely got him.
Woo-hoo. Ooh, God.
Don't open it. Yeah, I didn't even turn the pumps on. All right, gang, things are looking up.
Now it's weigh-in time, the final showdown.
Dion Hibdon, our number 2 man, is coming in. He adds 15 pounds to his credit, plus 4 ounces. Today brings in 2 bass. Dion has 2 keepers, and we're hoping these fish will pull him up. Remember, you're 4 pounds and how many ounces out?
I don't have no idea.
Okay, he's about 4.5 pounds out, roughly. All right, let's weigh him. Don't waste any time. These are very critical. These are multi-$1,000 bass. Weight, 4 pounds, 10 ounces. Let's give him a nice hand. I believe that'll pull you into the lead, will it not, Bob Cobb? That's a tie with the leader. So we got to sweat it out.
And now this morning's leader comes to the scales.
Arizona angler. What's the number? What's the number? How many fish? How many gullet we got in here? 3. Miller. 3 fish. Put it in at 3. Okay, 3 bass. Now, Ted Miller has 19 pounds, 7 ounces. This is the first time he's fished a bass tournament, B.A.S.S tournament. Weigh carefully. This is going to see if he can stay in the lead. The weight, the 3 keepers. Ted Miller's weight, 4 pounds. 4 pounds, 6, make it 7, make it 6. 4 pounds, 6 ounces. Mark it. Bingo. Folks, let's give him a good hand. That's an excellent catch, putting him in the lead. Folks, it was tough out there today. Now, you can imagine the sweat, and it's not over yet. We've still got 1 or 2 other fishermen to come in. These fish here aren't big ones compared to what he had the first 2 days, but it's enough, I believe, to put him in unless a miracle happens in the next few fishermen. Can you give me a little critique? I know how hard you worked.
Yeah, it's a long day out there, Ray. The first fish I had, I lost him, and that really upset me. And then, I just settled down. The camera crew was great, and they just talked back and forth, and caught 3 fish, so I was real happy.
That was it. Did you lose any fish?
Yeah, I lost. Camera crew got some real good pictures of me losing fish in the last couple of days.
Listen, we want to tell you how much we appreciate being out in this part of the country. We know your reputation, and we hope we can see you on the other side of the country now that you're going to go home with a lot of money.
Well, I was at New York. I'll see you back there. You bet.
All the best to you. Give a nice hand, folks. Our winner.
Well, this competition is history. Ted Miller has won his first ever Bassmaster Invitational Tournament, a test of the best, one of the toughest in the B.A.S.S record book.
And it's just a dream come true for me.
Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man. A little recognized fact is that there's current in any lake, impoundment, or river created by either regular water flow or by the wind. Learning to deal with currents can be extremely valuable when it comes to positioning the boat and presenting lures to bass to trigger a strike.
You notice that most of the time we're fishing into the current. That's probably the most important thing to remember about fishing in a river or any moving water. The bass are going to face into the current, and so if you can fish into the current, you're coming from behind them. They're not looking towards you. Here in this clear water, if you come downstream, the fish are seeing you way before you get to them, and it's almost impossible to catch them coming downstream.
It's great. They fixed up that old truck and went out for their big driving lesson. You know, they'll never forget this day as long as they live.
Here's to fathers and sons, first-time driving lessons and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
A tough tournament, but a great winner. Now next week we'll be traveling back across America to Florida and specifically to Lake Havasu and Orange Lakes with Bassmaster Shaw Grigsby. There's lots of action and lots of catching, and it's all on top order lures, every bass. It's an exciting show and one you don't want to miss. I'm Ray Scott, and we'll see you next week.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by Ranger Boats. We still build them one at a time. Polaroid, new 35mm 1 film. For beautiful pictures, the choice is easy. Abu Garcia, the world's finest fishing tackle. DuPont Power Lines, Stren, Prime Plus, new Magnathin, and Magnum 1440. Motor Guide, the choice of serious fishermen. Delco Voyager Marine Batteries, deep cycling, maintenance-free. Humminbird, absolutely brilliant technology. Johnson Outboards. Wouldn't it be nice if everything else were as dependable as your Johnson outboard? Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man. And the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, the world's largest bass fishing organization.